Welcome class to your introductory video for CIS185 Introduction to Programming. I'm going to use this introductory video to go over the Blackboard course shell, to look at our syllabus, and to look at our course outline, and then also what you can expect for each chapter with regards to assignments. So let's begin by just looking at the course homepage, and that's what's in front of you. So things that you might look here for are any announcements that may be posted. Now some of those announcements will also be emailed to you as well. And then over on the right side of the screen is where you're going to want to look for things that have been assigned and when they are due. So using the course calendar. So let's also now jump in and look at the course syllabus. So current semester, we're sitting in spring 2021, and this is the late 8-week course. Again, CIS185 Introduction to Programming. Credit hours are 3. My name is Amy, and you can just call me Amy. You don't need to address me in any other way. So Amy Helgeson. Tech Center 132D is my office, so if you're a campus student, feel free to stop in and ask questions or just to chat. And then we have my phone number, 701-224-5616. And my email, amy.helgeson@bismarckstate.edu. Now I generally respond to emails Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 4. I do look at my emails in the evening and also on the weekends, just depending on what's going on with my family, on whether you will generally get a response. Okay, so if you get a response in the evening, just don't think that you're always going to get that response. My office hours are Monday through Thursday, 1 to 2, and Friday from 11 to 12. Now Friday, I don't teach any on-campus classes, so generally I am open for questions from 8:30 to 3 or 4. If you're having issues with any assignments, we can connect through Blackboard Collaborate, and all you need to do is send me an email or call me, and we'll set up an appointment time for that. Now I'm going to give you one more phone number, and that is my personal cell number. And that number you can use just to maybe give me a reminder about an email that maybe you've sent and I haven't yet replied to, or if it's something that needs to be handled right away, you can also send me a text message there. Course materials, our textbook is Python Crash Course, a hands-on project-based introduction to programming. I started out with this book with the first edition. This is the second edition, and it is a very, very good book. I've been teaching for over 20 years, and some textbooks can, get into things a little deeper than, say, what students want to, especially in an introductory course. And this one, it's a good read. The lab assignments are very applicable to what is presented in the chapter. And there's also 3 interesting projects at the end, and we'll talk about which project or projects that we can work with. Course description. This course uses the Python language to provide an introduction to computer programming. And we're going to look at programming fundamentals, logic development, top-down program design, and application creation. So when we're done with this course, you'll be able to develop programs using Python. You will be able to write and debug code. And when we do that, we are going to bring in some critical thinking skills as well. So the biggest objective, I think, is the most important on any type of language type of course, is to be able to debug code. So when things go wrong, how do we go about solving that? And again, critical thinking is going to come into play there. Unit objectives, we're going to be looking at basic structure and the syntax of Python. If you have any programming experience with any other language, you're going to notice that Python is very friendly and it's very easy when it comes to syntax. Students will have used variables, lists, and dictionaries to store data. We'll look at functions to organize our code. We'll look at decision-making structures such as if, elif, or if and else. And then also look at repetition, where we can loop through using whiles and fors. And we'll look at classes that will represent real-world type of objects. And then also files and file error handling. So that's going to be your chapters 1 through 10, okay, all the chapters in the book. Active learning, so how can we apply active learning here into this course? Well, I consider the problem solving definitely. okay, and also writing. We're not maybe writing in, say, English language, but we're writing in that Python language. Assessment methods, we'll be looking at lab discussions, lab assignments, and chapter quizzes. So lab discussions will be assigned if a particular lab needs to be broken down, thinking about the logic of it before we actually go to writing the code. And then lab assignments, you'll be assigned anywhere between 3 to maybe up to 7 or 8 lab assignments per chapter. So you definitely want to stay on top of those lab assignments. And then the chapter quiz. Chapter quizzes are generally built from what is in the chapter itself, so make sure you read the material. Highlight things that you may think, hey, she might use that as a question. But I also generally will put those in on my PowerPoint presentation, which will be part of a lecture video presented for every chapter. Final grades accumulated for those discussions, lab assignments, and chapter quizzes. Attendance. BSC's attendance policy states attendance in classes and laboratories is extremely important. Therefore, students are expected to attend all class sessions of any course for which they are registered. So how does that apply to an online course? You're expected to use this course shell, so this Blackboard course shell, to obtain your assignments, their due dates, and how to submit assignments. Successful students will log into their course a minimum of 2 times per week. Now, since we're in an 8-week environment, I would be logging in at least 4, even not 5 times per week, maybe to see if any announcements have been posted, those kind of things, or any, just kind of keeping it structured, okay? There won't be anything that will pop up that I will change, in that particular chapter. That will stay as is. But successful, 2 to maybe 4 times per week. And then schedule a regular class time for yourself and be prepared to spend approximately 10 hours per week per course. Now, not all of this time is online. This will include viewing of lecture material, reading assignments, and project work. So you'll generally have maybe 40 minutes to around an hour with regards to the lecture videos for every chapter. Now, most weeks are going to be just 1 chapter. In the beginning, we'll move at a little faster pace, covering a couple chapters per week, just because the chapters aren't as complex. And so you want to make sure that you schedule that regular class time for yourself. You are expected to use this course shell again to obtain your assignments, their due dates, and how to submit your assignments. Be aware that internet connections are busier at peak times than other times of the day. So failure to submit assignments in a timely manner due to a lack of internet connectivity is not excused. Plan ahead to submit assignments at less busy times. So when are our assignments due? Well, they're due Monday night. So you're going to be, everything will be opened up on Tuesday at midnight, and then you will have till the following Monday at midnight to work on your assignments. So we'll talk a little bit more about assignments and what's expectations of those a little further down here. So as I was preparing or even recording this lecture, my internet went down twice because it's Sunday afternoon and that's what happens. So you want to be aware of those peak times. Since many online learners are full-time workers with careers, I understand that you're required to travel for work. You might have a big project with a deadline. So just notify, the communication is the big key. So notify me of any disruption to your studies, not after the fact, okay? So you're expected to complete assignments ahead of your absence from class if that's your situation. Makeup assignments are due by the due date. This course is part of a technical program designed to prepare you for the workforce. So just as our future clients will expect you to meet deadlines, I as well, and the program that you're involved in does as well. You want to make sure that you create a backup system. So don't just rely just on your hard drive. Maybe you rely on some cloud service or even a USB drive or maybe an external hard drive to back up your work. Questions to me regarding program code or troubleshooting your code must be received 48 to 72 hours before the due date. Now, here is the deal with that. So we have Monday night due date. Okay, so you should be asking me questions on Friday. And again, Friday is a big open time for me. So work on things Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then use that Friday as that time to get those questions answered. And then when you have to submit Monday night at midnight, you won't have that stress of I can't get my code to work and is she going to respond to it on Monday and get my questions asked. Okay, so kind of structure yourself up that way. Of course, if you run into any sicknesses or emergencies, family emergencies or sicknesses, please again, just communicate with me. Course outline, we'll look at that in a second and see how we're going to structure via the calendar and how things will run there. Institutional syllabus, so the common things with regards to BSc that you will find on each syllabi. So the academic honor code, our accessibility, camera video recording, email, military veteran statement, drop withdrawal deadlines, student rights and responsibilities, Title IX, and then guest speakers. So these are all policies definitely that are important, just like the policies that are in the core syllabi. So take the time to read through those. Let's jump back here. Lab discussions. So when lab discussions are assigned, they will be worth 5 points. You can post pseudocode in your own words, Python code, or a combo of both to a portion of a lab assignment that will be assigned. Lab assignments are worth 10 points each, and you will need to create a zip folder with each chapter's labs and upload it to the appropriate Blackboard Dropbox. So you'll see the stuff that's in red, and when things are in red, they draw your attention. So let's look at all of this. So lab assignments that do not function as required, okay, so they're not functioning the way they need to, or they're not running at all, will be automatically graded at 0. Okay, therefore it's important that you complete your work, again, a few days before the due date, so that I am given ample time to help you debug. Testing and debugging are essential skills to obtain. So again, use that Friday time slot for me to be debugging your code. That way you can tweak it over the weekend, okay, and then get it submitted right there on Monday. Okay, so when you submit to the Dropbox, if your program does not run, that's when it will be graded as a 0. Okay, if you send it to me and it's not working, I will help you get it running, and then you're going to get credit for it. Okay, so if you need my help, you need to contact me that 2 to 3 days before the due date. And I will not debug past 2 p.m. on the day of the due date. Okay, so Mondays are our due dates. So Monday at 2 o'clock, I generally will not help you with debugging just because of my course load and whatnot. And I just want respect to come with regards to those due dates. Okay, and that you need to contact me those 2 to 3 days beforehand. Okay, lab assignments must include comments, 30% of the grade. So at the top of your file, you're going to put your name and the date at the top. And then in your code itself, you're going to include 2 minimum code comments explaining your logic. Okay, so that's 30% of your grade. Lab assignments will not be graded in advance of any due date. So simply what that means, lab assignments will not be graded in advance of any due date, is that I'm not going to pre-correct your code. So if you email me and you say, hey, does 6-3 work? You should know if 6-3 works based on what was specified in the requirements for that program. And so in the beginning, if you feel hesitant about it, by all means email me, but as we start to get into the book and into more programming, you're going to want to be able to discern, is it functioning the way it needs to be functioning? Okay, final project, Alien Invasion. We'll begin coding this project in Chapter 4, which will be starting the week after spring break, and I'll talk about that schedule here in a second. So Chapter 4 is where we'll start coding Alien Invasion. Each section that is assigned, and there's 9 sections of Alien Invasion that will be assigned, they're each worth 15 points. All the code is given to you in the book. All you need to do is type it, and you need to type it correctly in order for it to work. Okay, so any section that does not function as required or is submitted to the Dropbox and it doesn't work is going to be graded at 0%. Comments are required, explaining what the code does. So the author does supply us with some code comments, but you need to put your own code comments in there as well. And I'll explain more about alien invasion when we get there. Now there's 2 other projects that are also part of this book. One is with regards to data analytics, and the other one is regard to web application. If you want to change your final project from the game to either one of those projects, all you need to do is let me know. Okay. Quizzes, again, 5 to 10 question quiz for every chapter covered. And then extra credit, no extra credit is offered in this course. And then final words. Please don't feel that you cannot ask me questions. Sometimes students think, oh, I don't want to bother her with my code that doesn't work. It actually bothers me more when students submit broken code to the Dropbox. And then when I go to correct, which could be 2-3 days later, now I see the broken code. Okay, whereas I could have had it 2-3 days before the due date with the broken code, okay, and then I can help you with that. So please don't think you're bothering me by asking questions, and I'm the instructor, that's what my job is. My office door is always open to you. My work phone has the voicemail, and when we get a voicemail at BSC, it goes automatically to our email, and I always check my email. It's on my phone as well. So I'm here to assist you in your learning experience, and so please contact me with any question you may have, and I do really thoroughly enjoy trying to figure out broken code. It's weird, but that's one thing that I like. Syllabus updates, if I update anything on this syllabus, I will definitely let you know through an announcement in Blackboard. So from there, let's look at what's next in our list. And that is the course outline. So when will things be due? Okay, so this is my plan. Chapter 1, getting started, that is our first week. So March 15th will be our due date for both chapters 1 and chapter 2. So chapter 1, we're going to be setting up and installing Python. We're also going to be choosing an editor or editors, and we'll look at the introductions discussion. And then we have 3 labs that will complete. Only one of those will be through Python code, and the other 2 will be more of kind of a discussion. So 1.1 and 1.3, and we'll look at those. Okay, chapter 2 will take us into our first kind of taste of what Python is all about, and we'll look at variables and simple data types. So that's due the first week of class, March 15th. Spring break then jumps in right away. And I always like to be respectful of spring break, but if students want to work through spring break, I'm just giving you a couple options here. So chapter 3, you can use chapter 3 for your spring break week. So you could start that on March 16th and have it all completed when you come back from spring break on March 22nd, or you can go ahead and do 3 and 4 together, okay, and make that your week from March 22nd to March 29th. Your choice. I'm going to leave chapter 3 open to the 29th, and whenever you submit it to the Dropbox, you submit it to the Dropbox. Okay, and then all of them are going to run 1 week following. We're going to round everything up on May 14th or May 10th. So the Monday of finals week will when we submit our last versions of Alien Invasion as well as our labs from chapter 10. So again, Alien Invasion will start in chapter 4. And we will be setting up the environment there as well, and then coding these files. So that is your course outline. Announcements. So these are where any announcements. I sent this out today as an email. So just kind of reiterate some of the things that we've already gone through in the syllabus. Just note that, this is an online course. It's not self-paced. There are due dates. So make sure that you're respecting those. And then Blackboard Help, so if you're having any problems with your course shell, you're going to want to use that. Email, here's where you can email me, or you can email fellow students, and here's your grades. The Academic Honor Code tutorial, you're going to want to complete that. And then here's that course calendar where you can see what is assigned and when it is due. Course content is where we're going to see all of our assignments, and I'll jump into that next. But Blackboard Collaborate is where you would connect to me live. So if I say, you email me and you say, I need a virtual session, can we meet? And I'll say, sure. And then this is where you'll click. Okay, you'll click on Blackboard Collaborate. Note that you must use Chrome. Okay, so Chrome allows you to share your screen with me. So Google Chrome browser is what you're going to want to use through Blackboard Collaborate. It works really well. It allows me to see students' code, and I can generally pick out things right away. If not, sometimes I will just say, can you please zip all your files to me, and then I will look through it that way. So let's jump into course content. So I've got chapters 1 and 2 open. Chapter 1, so you'll always get an overview of what the chapter is about. So this one just talks about, generally what Python is. We'll talk about Hello World, setting up your programming environment, and so on. And then here's where the lecture videos will be posted. I try to chunk them out. I try to make them not more than 20 minutes in length. And then chapter 1 assignments. So this is what it's going to be due for chapter 1. And then there will be a quiz. The quiz isn't showing up just because it's set by a date, so not to display right away. But that's just generally how chapters will be outlined. Let's go ahead and look at chapter 2. Chapter 2 is going to have more labs involved, so 2.2, 2.4, 2.6, 2.7, 2.8. Again, these are all worth 10 points apiece, so this is a 50-point chapter. You're going to submit to the Dropbox. So whenever you see a little pencil with a ruler, this is a Dropbox. You will click on that, and you will go ahead and browse to your zip file, which I will show you how to do in your chapter 1 video. So if you have any questions with regards to the course overview, please let me know. I am looking forward to teaching this in an 8-week format. It'll be exciting to see how it goes. Thank you.